Hey there, and welcome back for another one. Okay, where are we at for this adventure? This video kicks off the starting section of our international travel for the season. Yes, our trip to Sweden. Now, with that being said, Sweden was about a 2-week trip for me, the grandparents, and my cousin. There's a lot of footage and a lot of days. Instead of making one giant, massive movie, basically, I'm going to be doing this into multiple little sections. And instead of doing my every other week format that I normally do, you're going to be seeing a small section every week covering Sweden. I'm going to try and keep them as small as possible, 1 to 2 days at a time, segments, that kind of thing. There's a lot of miles to be covered, a lot to see. So there's going to be different format for the next few episodes. And also, because of that, since I didn't know how I was going to format things, every night when I was in my hotel at the end of the day, I did do like a mini check-in, recap of my day in Sweden, wherever we were. I didn't do the like and subscribe thing because I didn't know how I was going to be doing it. So you'll be seeing some custom-made closings maybe, or you might just see a like and subscribe over my recap of the day. Who knows? Either way, it's going to be a slightly different format. With that in mind, we're just going to dive into it. And I hope you very much enjoy my travels through Sweden. We are in the seats. Got the grandparents.
Who's there? Hey! Nobody's home.
Ready for this flight to Sweden?
What, kitty?
You ready?
What?
Get ready for the flight to Sweden. Are you
It's
ready
okay.
for the flight?
You're good.
to Sweden?
I'm fine.
Okay.
You can do it.
It's finally happening. After years of planning and saving, it's finally happening. We are on the plane.
Och de åt och drack och de tittade i krok. Det var glädje och jubel och sång. Och sen började slagsmål och finger på krok. Så festen kom riktigt igång. Och faderullalej och faderi och fadera. Skåla och knivarna dra. För det ska vara glädje och sång.
Dinner time.
Nu blixtrade kniven, de vråla och skrek om vem som var starkast och bäst. Och kvinnfolket stod baka dörren och grät som alltid när karar har fest. Och bonden började själv ta sig ton, han blev ilsken och elak och svår. Tills han kom i vägen för knivhalkar Jon. Godnatt lille far och gudtor. Och faderullalej och faderi och fadera. Skåla och knivarna dra. Det ska vara glädje och sång.
We finally landed in Sweden.
Kär i hon tände som kröp. Välde fast bara en stund. För gubbarna tunga och
We are on the Arlanda Express headed to Stockholm Massacre.
och så gick de till
Europe has a pretty stellar local transportation system, and the Arlanda Express is Sweden's like top-notch thing for Stockholm.
jag ser det var ett riktigt kalas.
And the views, yeah, the views. Well, it's a little overcast today, so yeah.
För det ska vara glädje och sång och godtej. För man ska vara glad när det är födelsedag. Så slutade natten och solen steg upp. Så gyllene, guldgul och grann.
Okay, we are in Stockholm. We are at our first hotel. We are at the elite Adlon Hotel. It's right across the street basically from the Arlanda Express. Also, pardon Pardon the face and the look. Haven't really slept much in the last couple days. Didn't get too much sleep on the plane, was having a hard time getting comfortable. So I'm tired. And I also traveled in time! 8 hours ahead of New Mexico time. But we've traveled forward in time. Yes, yes. So, Sweden. It's an old city. Stockholm is an old city in Sweden. With that in mind, things are smaller, tighter. It is what they are. But my room is definitely has the Norwegian vibes of minimalism. Oh, I love it. Check out the room. Check out my room. I'm in a single room. So it's a little tight of an entryway. You come in. I got my single bed. Very minimalistic. We have our desk. Chair. A nice window. Check it out. Finally made it to Sweden! Let's see what the bathroom has to offer. This is pretty nifty. So this is our hotel for the first night and also our very last night in Sweden. But yeah, we're here now to go touch base with the family, see what's happening with the family, maybe take a nap. It is, why am I looking at my watch? It's on New Mexico time. It's probably just after 8 a.m., close to 9 a.m. In Sweden. It's 1:30 a.m. in New Mexico right now. My sleep schedule's a little off. We might take a nap, get freshened up, and then explore. This afternoon we have a private tour of Gamla Stan booked. And oh guys, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. There's so many things to see. Oh Sweden, you beautiful, beautiful country. You and your preservation of history. I love it. And your art. Oh. Yes. Yes. We are here.
I was watching the little suckers like that right there.
Oh yeah, they got the scooter. So in Sweden they have the Lime, those kind of electric scooters. They have their own specific little lane for bikes and scooters here. It's pretty nifty. You just follow there. That's pretty nifty. We have, well, I fell behind schedule. My alarms never went off. Brilliant, brilliant. But we are finally on our way. We're headed to the Nobel Peace Prize Museum, which is where we will start our tour of Old Gamla Stan. Yeah!
Alla gossar är och klara som en dag. Hur skall man det besinna?
Här borta. Här har vi Västerlånggatan. Ni som är från Stockholm vet ju att det är där man går och köper vikingahjälmar i plast och sådana saker. Ja, bra grejer, precis.
We accidentally joined the wrong tour group first. Was curious why it was all in Swedish. Turns out it was a private tour for a company. There's a lot of tour guides that meet in front of the Nobel Prize History Museum, so just be ready for that. But we've started over here, and we are at the statue of St. George. There's a history behind it about how the Swedes and the Danes fought, and there was an old village where they had a dragon problem, and St. George came in and was asked to slay the dragon. And in reward, he got to marry the Swedish princess, whose name had been drawn to be sacrificed to the dragon. The dragon is the Danes, it's metaphorical. The original statue was wooden, and in the cathedral, this is a bronze remake. There's the dragon, St. George, and the princess is over there. And now we go back and find our tour guide, who actually does speak English and is the correct tour guide. Yes. As my cousin laughs at me. Yes, yes, yes. currently walking out of the town square of Stockholm, where one of the huge massacres happened in the 1500s when there was battles between the Danes and all the Swedes and all that stuff. And the alley we're going down is where the blood ran down from the massacre down this street. Very peaceful now.
Most about on these tours. What do you know about the Vikings?
A lot and not a lot.
A lot and not a lot. Right, I'll start from the beginning and you tell me if it's too much of the beginning. But the Vikings, they came from the 3 Scandinavian countries, so again, Denmark, Norway and Sweden. And they burst onto the international scene in 793 by sacking the English monastery of Lindisfarne, who again wrote an angry letter about it and complained. Those were Norwegians and Danes, and we know more about them than about the Swedes because they traveled to countries that knew how to write. So Scotland, England, Ireland and France. But obviously no people ever just burst out of the ground one year like that. But what is believed to have happened is that the Scandinavians, who had been a seafaring area already before, they had a combination of a population explosion, which meant that the men couldn't get married because they were a farming society and no family in their right mind would let their daughter marry a guy who didn't have a farm. So they were leaving mostly to raise enough silver to either buy land in Scandinavia or to buy land or take land somewhere else.
Alla gossar är och klara som en dag. Hur skall man det besinna? När det bliva gifta blir det skräp ändå. Sällan vill det vara hemma. Ty det slitas bordet som håller skrog. Ut i sus och dus tagar det sig rus. Supa bränner vin tills det ser ut som
So this is the narrowest alley in Scandinavia, and we used to.
That's the one.
This is the one. We used to think it was the narrowest in Europe, but it turns out we have competition all over the place. One in Prague, which is 2 feet wide, whereas this one is 3 feet wide. And then there's apparently a whole bunch of them in both Sicily and Portugal. But narrowest in the Scandinavia, I'm happy with that. It has the name of the Alley of Morten Trotsig, and I'm not entirely sure that this guy would have wanted to have his name on this particular alley, because it might just as well have been called Mischief Alley. It's narrow and it's dark, even with the street lights. But historically, without the street lights, it was like pitch black. And that meant that people who were carrying their latrine, which was supposed to be taken down to a pickup point by the lake and then rowed out to an island, if they could dump it here, then why not do that? And why not take the trash with you while you're at it? Then they were people who were probably spectacularly drunk, who thought it was a good idea to sneak through this stinking mess, just from one street to the next, and some other desperate people who waited for them to rob them. And by the 1850s, when Stockholm had this whole clean-up, or the Stockholm authorities rather, had this whole clean-up Stockholm drive, they decided to board it up just to get rid of the problem. And then they forgot about it until these 2 houses were supposed to be renovated in 1945. And when they were comparing blueprints, they realized that like, there's a missing piece here. Where did it go? And thankfully, all
Very tight, very tiny. We just finished our private tour of Old Gamla Stan. Thank you, Catherine, for all your wonderful information and dealing with us being slow and everything else. If you watch or ever see this video, thank you very, very much. But now we are cutting through the King's Garden, which is by the Opera House and Parliament, and we're on our way back towards the hotel. So the red building is Parliament. That's what the Opera House used to look like, and then they renovated it because of the fire hazard of the traditional theater. So now the new one doesn't look the way it used to be. Still beautiful opera history, but the architecture of the red, I gotta say, is not nicer. But we didn't want it to burn down, so that makes sense. Makes sense.
Now see this?
så höll och det hedersdagen in. Söndagen så höll och det hedersdagen in ut i rosen.
Really random. Sweden currently in certain crosswalks are temporarily doing a little art installment to help support the LGBT community. They've changed their crosswalk symbols to be couples. It's quite cute.
We've got
Can't really see it, but I'll see if I can get a close up. It's quite. I love it. I love Sweden. They have different ones for different things, but they're trying to support the LGBT community with an art installment that's temporarily on their street crossings. I think it's quite great.
Sidenvita flaggor förgyllande ros. Sidenvita flaggor förgyllande ros ut i rosen. Hon gångar och såg de flaggorna.
Okay. Day 1, Sweden. Check. Stockholm. Let's recap this day. For anyone who plans on touring, just some tips, things I learned. Whew, I'm tired. So, if you're coming to Stockholm, you fly into Stockholm, look into the Arlanda Express. It's a really cool train, doesn't cost much, goes straight from the airport down to the downtown center of Stockholm. You can also take it to other places. That's where we took it. It's going to be way cheaper than a taxi, easier than taking a bus with luggage. Yeah. So, Arlanda Express, keep that in mind. We got lucky. I booked a... So, my anxiety has gotten the better of me. Thursday, I had to fly to Chicago. And it was a really early flight, and I was already anxious, packing for the whole trip. Maybe got about 4 hours of sleep before flying out Thursday morning to do with the grandparents. And then more anxiety, because when I get to the farm, grandparents weren't packed. They had to run to Verizon, take care of stuff there, all sorts of things. Anxiety, again, high. Worried about making sure we're all good. Got about another 4 hours of sleep. And then we had to get to the airport again early. Tried to sleep on the planes. I got a little bit of sleep on the first flight to Chicago. And then the overnight to Sweden flight. We were in Delta. We were in Comfort Plus. Seats didn't recline back as much as I thought they would. Thought about upgrading seats to do the more, but those are really expensive to upgrade to. Really great service, by the way. That flight, international travel, phenomenal. And free alcoholic drinks the entire flight. Got a meal. Food was great. It was awesome. Definitely thrown off my sleep schedule in my brain. My original plan was to try and sleep most of the flight. I maybe got 2 hours of sleep on the flight. But I got to watch some movies that I hadn't seen yet. So, Thursday, Friday, into Saturday, because we rolled into Stockholm at 8 a.m. Stockholm time. That's 8, 9, 10, about 10 hours of sleep over a matter of 2.5 days. We got here, and it was early in the morning, so I figured take a nap. Everyone else woke up from their naps on time. I was apparently so tired that I slept through my alarm. I slept through phone calls. My cousin had to come knock on my door and was banging on my door for quite a few minutes before I even woke up to that. So, but we made it to our tour on time. That's what matters. Whew. My brain's still a little fuzzy. I don't think it's really the jet lag. The jet lag's probably not helping. It's a lack of sleep. I'm tired. But Old Gamla Stan. If you come to Stockholm, I definitely recommend getting a tour of Old Gamla Stan so you get the history. There's so much history of Stockholm between the Danes and the Swedes. Oh, it's quite impressive, and you can learn some really cool tidbits. I learned some really cool things today about the Rune, about the smallest alley, the mischievous alley. the massacre of the royals and so much history. So much history. It's beautiful. And yeah, we had some cloud overcast, but you know what? The city was great. However, just like in America, there is some political unrest going on. There's some changes in society. When we were headed back to the hotel, we decided to go through the King's Garden, just outside the Royal Palace. Really beautiful garden, beautiful fountain. Something was going on. It is a Saturday. A lot of the college students are out here. And I think there was a show, but I don't know what else was going on. I was only picking up some of the Swedish here and there. Things were getting stirred up between the police and the students. And my grandpa had a Route 66 hat on. If you come to Sweden, at least right now, don't wear that hat here. My grandpa was yelled at. That's a police siren, by the way. My window's open. There's no AC here, by the way. But it's really nice out, so just crack a window. But yeah, some of those students were yelling some not so great stuff at my grandfather, or just for wearing that hat. I don't know if they thought it was associated with a different hat that's been being worn in America right now, which a lot of Europe is not pro for. Can't blame them. So if you're going to come over here as an American tourist, you might want to be careful what hat you wear at the moment. Because then there was also a situation where I was really nervous for a second. Some police officers were trying to keep some of the students at bay. I think some royalty was going down a street. Something was going on. I could only pick up parts of it. I'm not fluent in Swedish. I could only pick up parts. But it wasn't good. Batons were being pulled out. It was starting to get riled up. I don't think it ever got to that point. But there was a point where someone must have pulled out a baton on somebody. Next thing I know, we're walking down the street and I hear screaming. I turn around and there's like a mini herd coming at us. I had to quickly push the grandparents aside just to make sure they don't get trampled. But it stopped. So it didn't hit us, which is good. I don't know exactly what happened, but yeah. So I've been told that the other parts of Sweden are calm. Stockholm, though, is a giant place. Very city mix of everybody here. Got all the tourists coming and going. It's a hub. It's a giant international hub. So it makes sense that this city would have some of that going on. All across the world, we have a lot of things happening politically in our economy. The world is changing. COVID set a domino effect in motion. We will be seeing the changes and the consequences, good and bad, probably, moving forward. We'll see what happens. But we got back to the hotel. They were safe. No one got trampled. Didn't have to watch anybody get into any scuffles. Grandpa will no longer be wearing that hat. While we're here, we'll find him a different hat. And we went to this restaurant down the street. It's called the International Club. It's across from a theater. We're at the elite Adlon Hotel. Down the street, there's a theater. Traditional theater, not movie theater, like theater. This bar is very much big for that theater. Oh, wonderful, wonderful restaurant. Spot on food. The grandparents and my cousin got burgers. Amazing burgers, though. I got some duck. Also really delicious. Grandpa said some of the best beer he's ever had. He got a Belgian beer. It was good. It was good. We got to meet some people, get some tips for things to know about, feel a little bit more prepared. And now it is time to call it a night. I am tired. But yeah, that was day one, Sweden, Stockholm. Yeah. It's beautiful out here. The architecture, just phenomenal. I got to learn so much about being able to tell what buildings are from which centuries, 13th century, 17th, 16th, based off of the way they're built and the ironwork on the outside. The history here is so rich and just so beautiful. I love it. But to now, to now. I'm tired. Sorry, guys. I'm all over the place. So now it's time to go to bed. And we will see you guys in the morning. Yes, yes. Day 2. I don't remember off the top of my head where we're headed. I gotta pick up the rental car. I'm self-driving this tour. I'm excited and nervous about driving in Europe. I think it'll be okay. It'll be fun. Yeah. Alright. On to the next day! But first, sleep. Welcome back to me filming this. Hope you enjoyed the video, the section 1 of just flying and traveling to Stockholm and enjoying Old Gamla Stan. Oh, Sweden has such a rich history and they do such a great job of preserving it. And there's so much to see that I'm definitely gonna have to go back. For instance, like I didn't get to go see the Nobel Prize Museum. I got to see outside of it when I accidentally entered and joined the wrong tour group that I thought was ours. Special thank you to our tour guide, Katrin. You are amazing. If you ever see this video, thank you so much for being so patient with me and my family and giving us all those details. It was just splendid. Thank you so much. What can I say about Stockholm? It's cool. I definitely gotta go back and cover more ground and be less tired. Yeah, the 10 hours of sleep within about 3 days was a bit much for my body. I was very stressed, very anxious, trying to keep everyone where they need to be, make sure everything was good with plane tickets, etc., etc., etc. Yeah, when we took that nap, whew, like I was tired, don't get me wrong, my head felt like it was swimming, but I didn't realize how tired I was. I slept through my alarms, I slept through phone calls. My cousin came banging on my door and I slept through her banging on my door for several minutes before I finally woke up. Yeah. So just to know, if you're gonna be international travel, you might want to get more sleep. And if you don't get much sleep, that first day you get there, if you think it's safe to take a nap, be cautious about taking that nap if you have scheduled things like a guided tour. I'm lucky my family was there to wake me up, or else I wouldn't have woken up and I would have missed my entire first day in Stockholm. Either way, it was fun though. Yeah, it was so beautiful. Well, that ends day 1, Stockholm. Next week will be the next day. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you liked the video, hit the like button. And if you aren't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button and follow along for more adventures because as always, there will be more, I promise. And until next one, you guys have a good one. Later.